Hey guys, what's going on? Brian with the Hearing Club. I'm sure you guys have probably already heard and everybody knows that you can actually use the Apple AirPod Pro 2s as hearing aids, right? It's been all over the internet. I even saw an Apple AirPod Pro 2 commercial recently, and it was an amazing, heartfelt commercial, really cool. And it's just being advertised all over the place. But how do you actually set them up? How do you actually use them as hearing aids? Because they must be set up. Well, first, you have to connect them to your iPhone. Another reason to get an iPhone if you're a hearing aid wearer, right? And then once you connect them to your iPhone, you have to tell your phone what kind of hearing loss you have. You have to tell your phone which sounds you can hear and which sounds you have trouble hearing. Because that's what hearing aids do. That's what these AirPods do. They're going to amplify or increase the volume of only the sounds that you have trouble hearing. So you have to tell it what kind of hearing loss you have. Well, there's two ways to do that on your phone, okay? And I'm going to show you guys both ways real quick. So this is not going to be a full review of the AirPods. This is not going to be a full breakdown of what you can do with them, how they actually work, and which options you have, when you're using these as hearing aids. This is just a quick video on how to connect them to your phone and how to turn the hearing aid feature on and how to input your audiogram. All right. So there's two different ways to do that, and I'm going to show you guys both. So the first way you can do this is you can just take an audiogram that you have from Beltone, from Miracle Ear, your Costco audiogram, or an audiogram from your doctor or ENT. And you just take your phone and you take a picture of it. Okay. And it will do its best to use that image to input all the different thresholds. But I tried using that and it didn't work very well at all. It missed over half the frequency. So I just ended up inputting them all myself. So that's actually the way I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys how to manually input each frequency, each threshold into the phone. And then the second way you can do this is you can actually do a hearing test. You take a hearing test right from your iPhone, just like you do with a lot of other programmable over-the-counter hearing aids. So I'm going to show you guys both ways real quick. All right, but before we can do any of that, first, you must connect them to your phone. So let's jump right in and get that done real quick. All right, so believe it or not, even though this is an Apple product, you're not going to set these up in the accessibility menu. All right, it's going to show up in your Bluetooth menu. So first thing you're going to do to get them connected is go ahead and just open up your Apple AirPod case. And as soon as you open that up, as long as it's got power, it's going to find it on your phone. You just go ahead and hit connect. And then it's going to have you hold the button on the back of the case. Just hold it down until you're done. And boom, it'll make a little sound and you are good to go. They are connected. Go ahead and turn on the head movement thing if you want. And we're not going to do the hearing test right now, but if you want, you can go ahead and just hit take a hearing test and it's going to walk you through how to do it. It is very, very easy. All right, so we're just going to hit not now. And I'm going to show you guys how to get there manually. All right, so we got them connected. They're good to go. If you go to your settings, you're going to see them. Whoops. All right, you're just going to go to Bluetooth, and they're right there on top. All right, so this is actually where you're going to get to some of the setup options. All right, so you're just going to hit the little I next to the AirPods, and then you're going to go to where it says take a hearing test. All right, so click on take a hearing test. It's going to ask you a couple questions. All right, so no, I don't have any allergies. No, I have not been in a loud environment. Yes, I'm 18 or older. Hit next. And then it's going to tell you, well, you got to put the things in your ears. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then you hit next. Make sure you're obviously in a nice quiet room. It says I'm okay. Make sure they're in the correct ear. Duh. Go ahead and hit next. Start the check. All right, and it's going to start the test, and you are good to go. All right, guys, so once you get done with all the preliminary stuff, it made sure that you're in a nice quiet room. There's not too much noise. You've got the AirPods in correctly. It does like a test sound to make sure that you're getting all the sound and none of it's leaking out. Then you're going to be ready for the test. It is super easy. First, you're going to go through the left ear, and then once it tests all the frequencies for the left ear, it's going to start with the right ear and go through all the same frequencies. And it is just like a test that you would have at, in a soundproof booth at an office. you're going to hear these different beeps and tones, and they're going to start off nice and audible, meaning you can hear them okay. And then whenever you hear the tone, you just tap the screen. And that lets the phone know, okay, he can hear this tone at this volume. Let's turn it down a little bit and see if they can hear this next volume. So it's going to turn the volume down. It's going to play the tone. And if you hear it, you tap the screen. If you don't hear it, it's going to turn it up a little bit. And it's going to go back and forth until it finds your threshold, the lowest volume that you can hear that particular frequency or tone. So it's very important to be in a quiet room, no distractions, concentrate, and it'll do the entire test for the left and the right ear. And I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of hearing tests with different over-the-counter hearing aids with the accompanying app, and most of those tests do a couple frequencies, and the test is very, very quick. This test that Apple does on the phone with this new update is by far the most thorough hearing test I've ever taken on a phone with an app for over-the-counter hearing aids. This it seems like it tests all the same frequencies we test over at the office. So it's a very, very good test. And I think this result that you're going to get is going to be a very, very accurate result. So don't be afraid to do the test that it offers. It's a very good one. Okay. Once you're done with the left and the right ear, the test is done, and you just hit the button that says set up hearing aid and you are good to go. Now I'm going to show you guys how to manually enter in an audiogram. It's very simple, but it can be confusing if you don't really know what's going on. All right. One thing that will help you know what's going on is if you actually learn and understand how to read your audiogram and what everything means, what thresholds are, masking and unmasked. If you guys want to see how to read your audiogram, check out the video. It's a pretty old one, but it gets the job done. I'll probably do a new updated one with more information, but it will help. And if you watch this video first, it'll make this whole process much easier. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to that same spot in your Bluetooth menu. So we're going to go to settings. All right, we're going to back out of here. Go to Bluetooth and then select the option next to your AirPods. Click that little eye. And then you're going to go down to where it says hearing aid is on. We're going to select that. And we're going to go to update hearing test results. Okay. So we're going to select that. And this is going to show you all the different test results that you've done, whether you've taken a picture of your audiogram or you have manually uploaded one, or results from the hearing test you do on the phone. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the very bottom and we're going to go to add hearing test result. This is where you can either take a picture of your audiogram. So if you have a Bell Tone audiogram or Miracle Ear audiogram, Costco audiogram, whatever, you can just take a picture of it, upload it to the phone, and it will try to read it and put in all the different thresholds, but it doesn't work very well. I've tried it, and we're just going to manually enter in each and every threshold. Just really quick, a threshold is the lowest volume that you can hear a particular pure tone. All right, so what we do in the hearing test when you're sitting in the soundproof booth is we tell you, okay, you're going to hear these different beeps and tones, and you're going to press the button or raise your hand whenever you hear a beep or tone, no matter how soft it is, no matter how faint the sound is. All right, and we go back and forth until we figure out the lowest volume you can hear each one of these different frequencies or tones. And the lowest volume that you can hear each tone gives us an idea of how well you can hear. So if we take a really deep, low frequency tone like 250 hertz, and you can hear that sound all the way down to like 10 decibels, you can hear that sound very well. And your threshold would be at 10 decibels. But if we have to crank that sucker up real loud before you can hear it, like let's say we have to turn it all the way up to 70 decibels before you can hear it, and you finally press the button at 70, we've got it cranked up real loud. That tells us you can't hear that sound very well, and the hearing aids will provide amplification for that frequency. All right. So watch the video on how to read your audiogram and your test results, and you'll understand a lot more. So we're going to go ahead and hit add manually. All right. And we're going to hit enter results manually. All right, and that's how you get started, and I'm going to explain this process here in a second. All right, guys, so here's an audiogram that I found, and the reason I chose this audiogram is because this has both masked and unmasked thresholds, okay? So just a couple things to understand really quick. The blue is always your left ear. The red is always your right ear. That's an easy one. That's how it's always laid out with hearing aids. And what we have here is kind of a complicated audio. I mean, it looks complicated, but once you understand what's going on, it's fairly easy. These little brackets or carets are your bone conduction scores. We're not going to worry about that. So are these square brackets. Those are masked bone conduction scores, so we're not going to worry about those either. All we're going to focus on are the X's and the O's, okay? The X's are your left ear. The O's or circles are your right ear. And there's also squares and triangles. And so this is where it gets kind of confusing. The triangles are your masked right ear thresholds for air conduction, and then the squares are your masked air conduction thresholds for your left ear. Okay, so with some of these thresholds, they had to mask because the better ear was trying to help out, and in order to basically take that other ear, the non-test ear, out of the equation so it's not helping out, they distract it with a white noise. Okay, so if you're doing a hearing test and they're testing your right ear, okay, they're testing your right ear but your left ear is much better in those areas, they will play a masking noise or a white noise in your left ear so that it can't help out when you're listening for those really, really quiet tones in your right ear. All right. So now we're going to take a look at, and that's why I chose this audiogram, because it's got both masked and unmasked thresholds that we're going to enter in. And when you're doing this on your phone, it's going to ask you, do you have X's and circles, or do you have squares and triangles, or do you have both? So I'm going to show you guys the most complicated audiogram to enter in, and this will cover both the easy ones and the complicated ones without having to make two different videos or show you guys two different examples. All right. So now let's take a look at our phone. You should be at the screen where it's saying there may be X's, squares, circles, or triangles, and go ahead and select which ones appear on your audiogram. So we're using this audiogram, and now we're going to go ahead and start. So it's going to ask you which of these symbols appear in your chart. We're going to select all of them. There is a very high chance that you're just going to have the top two, the crosses and the circles, okay? And if you do only have crosses and circles, go ahead and select those two. If you have all four, then go ahead and select all four. You may have three. You may have crosses, circles, and squares, but no triangles. Then select that, all right? So very, very basic. All right, so let's go ahead and start. This audiogram has X's, circles, squares, and triangles. And once again, the X's and squares are going to be your left ear. The circles and triangles are you're going to be your right ear. The reason there's two different symbols for each ear is because sometimes we have to mask, and if we have to mask, the right ear is going to show up as triangles and the left ear is going to show up as squares. All right, so go ahead and hit continue. Now it's going to ask us, well, which frequencies have these symbols? Basically, what it's asking is which frequencies did your hearing care provider test for? All right. So we test everything in between 250 hertz all the way to 8,000 hertz. Now, if you get your test at somewhere that just does the bare minimum, you're going to have 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4, 6, and 8,000. Okay. Now, if you go somewhere like Costco where they go above and beyond, they're going to do all the frequencies in between as well. So you're going to have scores for 250, 500, 750 right in the middle. This audiogram doesn't have that. You're going to have 1,000, and you're also going to have 1,500. As you can see here, they did 1,500 in between. They're called interoctaves. They did it for the right ear, but they didn't do it for the left ear. And I just came across one of these tests from an ENT not too long ago. So sometimes they miss them. Sometimes we can't miss them because it gives us a message, hey, you didn't do this frequency. So we always do it at Costco. And I'll tell you what, the more frequencies, the better. All right. So for this test, we've got 250. So we're going to select that on your phone. We've got 500. We're going to select that. We don't have 750. So we're going to go ahead and skip that. If you have a symbol here at 750 between 500 and 1,000, select 750. All right. So we're going to skip that on the phone. We've got 1,000, which is right here. We also have 1,500 for the right ear, nothing for the left, but we're going to go ahead and select it anyway. And then we have 2,000. There's symbols here at 2,000. We're going to select that. And then 3, 4, 6, and 8. So we're going to select 3, 4, 6, and 8, and we're going to hit continue. All right. Now this is going to look real confusing, but You'll be all right. Just follow along with me. All right. So we're going to start with 250 hertz. Okay. That is the first column. The top axis, the horizontal axis, are your different frequencies. And the vertical axis is the different decibel levels, the volume basically. So again, watch the video to understand the audiograms, but what this is saying, all right, I'm just going to show you an example for one frequency. What this is saying, this test is saying that the left ear is better in the low frequencies. The right ear is pretty bad in the low frequencies. So as we go from the left to the right, the frequencies go from low to high. So it might sound like this: beep, 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 and then beep, all the way at 8,000, okay? And as we go down the graph, the volume of that tone is getting louder. So in a nutshell, what this test is showing is that this person is able to hear the very low frequency sound of 250 hertz. Okay, we measure the pitch of the sound by the frequency. The lower the frequency, the lower the pitch. So this person can hear 250 hertz in their left ear at just 10 decibels. They can hear that at a very soft volume. 0 decibels is perfect hearing. My kids are up here, -10, -5, okay? But this person is very close to perfect hearing in their low frequencies. So they can hear 250 hertz at just 10 decibels, very low volume, which means they have good hearing there. But with the right ear, they don't hear that frequency until they turn it up to 50 decibels, okay? So they have hearing loss in the low frequencies for their right ear. And these triangles mean that they had to mask that frequency because the left ear is so good that when they're listening for the right ear, for that tone, it could be the left ear that's helping out. They could be hearing that sound with the left ear and not know it, okay? So what they do is for this frequency, again, since the left ear is so good, they have to play some white noise in the non-test ear, the left ear, so it doesn't help hear that loud tone in the right ear. I know it can be confusing, but anyway. So moving on. So what we're going to do is for 250 for the left ear, we're going to select 10 decibels because that's where it's at. Okay, 250, 10 decibels. You just go down and across, okay? So for 250, we're going to select the X for the left ear, or the cross, okay? It's already set up, and we're going to go to 10. And then for the right ear, we're going to change it from a circle to a triangle, all right? And we're going to select 50. And boom, you're done. Just hit continue, all right? Now for 500 hertz, same thing. Left ear is still at 10 decibels, so we're going to go ahead and select 10. And then the right ear is at 55, okay, between 50 and 60. So we're going to change that to a triangle, and we're going to select 55. Boom, continue. And then we're going to skip 750 unless your audiogram has a symbol here. You're going to skip it if you don't, and we're going to go right to 1,000. The left ear is at 25, in between 20 and 30. So we're going to hit 25. Okay, and for the right ear, we're going to use a circle this time, and it's going to be 40 decibels. So we're going to select 40 for that ear, and then hit continue. All right, and then we have 1,500 for the right ear, but we have no threshold for the left ear. So we're just going to pretend the left and the right are at the same spot right here, okay? So and actually, now that okay. So for 1,500, we're going to select 30 for both. Okay, we're going to pretend there's an X here for the left, and there's already a circle here for the right. So we're just going to hit 30 for both. Okay, and now we're at 2,000. Okay, we're going to hit continue. So 2,000 for the right ear is 20. So we're going to go ahead and select 20. It's a circle, and then 2,000 for the left ear is 35. So we're going to select 35. And this is where the ears start to change position. Now the right ear is better in the high frequencies and the left ear is worse. And they're going to have to mask the left ear where the right ear is much, much better. All right. So we're going to hit continue. Now we're at 3,000 hertz. 3,000 is between 2,000 and 4,000 right here. So 3,000 for the right ear is 10 and 3,000 for the left ear is 45. Boom, we're going to hit save. And now we're at 4,000. 4,000 for the right is 5 decibels, so they have very good hearing in the high frequencies with their right ear. And 4,000 for the left ear is 50, but it's masked, so we're going to change it to a square, and we're going to select 50. Boom, continue. 6,000 for the right is going to be 5. So we're going to select 5. And then it is 45 in between 40 and 50 for the left ear. And again, it's a square. So we're going to change it to 45. Boom. And then for 8,000, the highest frequency that we test for, the right ear is 5. So we're going to change that to 5. And then the left ear is 50, but it's masked. So we're going to change it to a square, and we're going to go with 50. And boom, you guys are done. That easy. Again, if you guys want to know more about what's going on here, check that video out, how to read your audiogram. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. All right. And now we have a new entry for December 8th. So we're going to select that one, and we're going to hit next and set up hearing aid. All right. And that's all you guys got to do. Very, very simple. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video. I told you it was going to be a quick one. I'm going to have the how to read and understand your audiogram. I'm going to have it pop up on the screen here at the end. So check that out if you want to get a better grasp of what's going on. And just a couple notes about these AirPod Pro 2. So they are fantastic hearing aids. They really are, if they had more amplification. So I have looked and scoured the internet to find out all the actual specifications and numbers, and I just can't figure out how much these things are actually amplifying. So most of your over-the-counter hearing aids are going to give you up to 35 decibels of gain with the gain on full, or it's called full-on gain, all right? And I think these are probably maybe 25, maybe 30, possibly, but I doubt it. And I just can't find it anywhere. So I'm going to try to figure that out and just do some more searching. But that's one issue that I have with these hearing aids. You're not going to be able to get much amplification out of them. And then the other problem is the battery life. Obviously, you're not going to be able to wear these things for, 8, 12, 16 hours, which some people do wear their hearing aids that long. You're going to have to stop and recharge them. Other than those two things, the quality is the highest quality I've seen on an actual headphone. The quality is amazing. The sound quality is amazing. The noise reduction is excellent. The noise cancellation, I've never experienced noise cancellation like this before. You just tap your phone and all the sound around you is gone, just disappears. So if you're trying to, watch a YouTube video or listen to a podcast and you're in the break room like I am all the time, I just hit that button and boom, everything is silent and it's like I've got my own theater here. And the sound quality for this streaming and podcast is incredible. So these are truly fantastic hearing aids. They just need to be a little bit stronger and last a little bit longer. All right. Now these you can get at Costco for like $170 or like $179, something like that. Or you can get them on Amazon for like $200. So these are definitely some of the best hearing aids in that price range I've seen. Now, if you guys are looking for something a little bit stronger or much stronger and good sound quality, excellent noise reduction, and you want to spend like less than $500, check out the Elehear Beyonds. Right now, those are my favorite in that price range. And then these are probably going to be my favorite hearing aids under $200 easily. All right, so both are really great. Check them out. The full review will be coming soon, and I will put everything together in a nice package. I'll have how to connect them, how to do your hearing test, how to input your audiogram, and then what I think of them, and we'll go through the whole thing. All right, so full review coming very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and let's get hearing.